Hello, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Carol Jenkins. The program is Black America. The CDC reported recently that Black people have the second highest drowning rate. 1 in 3 Black adults reported they don't know how to swim, compared to 15% of all adults. Paulana Lamonier, founder of Black People Will Swim, has been on a mission to change that. And Paulina, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Miss Carol. I'm excited.
It is great to see you. I'm among the non-swimmers, I confess right up.
Okay.
You know, and in my case, you know, girls of my generation, you know, our mothers said, there's no way you're going near water all of the time I put into getting your hair.
Which is fair.
Right. So, you know, it was black girls didn't swim back then,
right,
but they certainly can now.
Absolutely.
You know, so we were talking before we started about the second highest rate that blacks are. And what's the highest rate of drowning?
Yeah, so the highest rate is American Indian or Alaska Native, right? And so they're taking the #1 spot. And despite Black people being the second highest, drownings have actually increased in our community since 2021 by 58%.
58%.
Right, according to a recent report by the CDC. So the numbers are increasing, unfortunately, and there's a multitude of reasons as to why.
Right. Well, you know, most people, when they associate, oh, let's learn how to swim, you know, they're thinking about, let's have some fun, you know, but in truth, this drowning rate is it's extraordinary.
Right. And while people do want to have fun, you know, Black people, a lot of us, when we have pool parties, not a lot of us are always in the pool, right? And there's some different factors, our hair care and what comes with that, us not knowing how to swim, the lack of representation in aquatics, which is why Black people aren't as encouraged to learn how to swim, and most importantly, accessibility and affordability. Swim lessons are expensive, so we're outpriced, and the facilities in our communities, they could use a bit more maintenance, right? And so this is where Black People Will Swim comes into play, where we're making swimming affordable, fun, and accessible for everyone.
Okay, so you're teaching them in your facility, you know, and now you've taught 2,400 people you start.
Okay. It is not an easy feat as a small Black-owned business, so we are proud of that number, and it's just the beginning, so yeah.
Yeah, and so you had 30 students to start with, and now you're up to 2,400. And so how long does it take to teach a person how to swim?
Well, for us in our program, we would say about 6 lessons, right?
That's great.
On average.
Right.
We do say that it may take a little more depending on what's your starting point. You know, some people have experienced a lot of trauma, right? They probably had a near drowning experience. Maybe it's fear that is passed on from their parents, and maybe they've witnessed something as well. So everyone's starting point and foundation is different, but on average, the number is 6.
It's 6 lessons, so we'll be signing up, and I understand you had a grandmother and a granddaughter in your class, so it's all generations.
All ages.
They're over. Let's talk, I was doing some of the research, reading about the case where, I guess it was in Louisiana, where a Black boy lost his footing and was going under, and his cousins who were with him tried to save him, and they couldn't swim either. And 6 Black boys drowned in this one instance. And I mean, it's just an extraordinary disaster, I think, that, you know, that somehow needs to be stopped. But I don't know, how do you get everybody swimming?
Right, and it's a domino effect, right? And swim lessons is not just teaching people how to swim. In our program, it's about water safety. Water safety doesn't just save your life, it can save someone else's life. You can prevent things from happening. That's what it's all about. Prevention is key in swimming. And so how we make sure that we get people in our lessons is, one, sharing stories like that, statistics. We also partner up with nonprofits like Outdoor Afro, who also subsidizes our swim lessons. So while swim lessons may be $195 for some of our kids, we'll offer them either free or low cost, so that way people can, basically removing any type of excuse and making sure that they are registered for classes.
So many people may not know, although they would have some inkling of it, that swimming pools were the center of discrimination for so many, you know, I mean, we've heard the stories. If a black person got in the pool, they would drain it,
Right.
so that, quote, disease would not spread, and beat the person up too who dared to get in the water. So talk to us a little bit about that history of. That's one of the reasons that you know, that blacks don't have the opportunities to swim. They had been prohibited from getting in a pool.
Right. I mean, when it comes down to the history of aquatics and racism, it's such a rich history, good and bad, right? We talk about before the Jim Crow era, right, where we had separate pools, we had separate country clubs, and white pools were maintained very differently compared to black pools, right? We weren't afforded the same accessibility, afford the same maintenance, equipment, things like that. So while white pools were afforded swim lessons, not so much with black pools, once integration started coming into play, they would either shut down the pool or, especially in New York, we have a history called white flight. As more black people started to move into more white communities, white, rich, affluent people started to move out east. They started creating country clubs, and they started to install their own backyard pools because they did not want to share, right? Of course, that may not be the same history as today, but that was the history of Long Island. That is the history of New York. And so in our program, it is important for us to not only share why the drowning rates are happening today, but what's the genesis of it? How did it start? And what are the solutions that we can create or amplify to making sure that we're leveling the playing field and make sure everyone has access to swim lessons, but that black people, that there are no more drownings in our community.
Right. Well, you are a swimmer. You
Yes, I am.
swam in a team. How old were you when you started?
I was 18. I joined the York College swim team when I was 18, but I learned how to swim when I was a kid. So my parents put my sisters and I in swim lessons, and that's how we got our feet wet, no pun intended.
Right.
And then from there, I joined my college swim team, and my coaches, the Trotman family, they took me under their wing and really taught me not only how to be a good swimmer, but what it takes to be a coach and be one of the few black coaches on Long Island.
So you were seriously coaching, what, professional swimmers, college swimmers? What's the...
Yeah. Well, I was coaching kids. I was a new coach, so they had me coach the babies. They had me like, Paulana, you take care of the toddlers, of the kids.
Right.
The coaches with more seniority were really teaching, teens that were qualifying for Junior Olympics.
Right.
That were swimming at like really, really great times. And this was great for a black swim team on Long Island to be making such achievements in the Hempstead and Queens community. So I definitely give props to the New Finn Men swim team.
Right. So, and the Olympics just took place there. I didn't see a lot of black people in the water there.
I mean, that's really been the case. It's only maybe two. We have Simone Manuel, as of recently, who she has overcome a lot just to be on a relay, just for her to represent the United States. But then we've also had Cullen Jones, who swam with Michael Phelps in the relay as well. Right. So, yes, we amplify Michael Phelps' name, but we also want to make sure we amplify Cullen Jones, Simone Manuel, Maritza as well, and so many others who have paved the way for black athletes in the aquatic space.
So what is that like if you are training to be an athlete, swimmer, as opposed to learning how to swim to save your life,
Yeah.
So what goes into the coaching for that kind of, the commitment has got to be...
Oh, yeah. At minimum 2 hours, you're training, not just in the water, but then you're also having additional time to do dry land exercises. So that's running, making sure your endurance is on point, stamina is on point, making sure that you are strong as well, because it's a lot of dry land preparation that prepares you when it comes down to swimming in your lane. And then when it comes down to swimming, when we're teaching regular lessons, it's 6 50-minute lessons, and we're teaching you the basics, how to float, how to streamline, and in the end, we make sure you know how to freestyle, backstroke, tread water, and jump in the deep end. Oh, yes.
Oh, whoa, jump in
Yeah,
the deep end.
jump in the deep end. So you're jumping in like 10 feet of water.
Right.
Yeah, but this is like, and our students feel so proud of themselves. Like, this is the first in their family learning how to swim. They've probably enrolled their kids in swim lessons, and now they're like, it's my time. I'm reclaiming my time, and I'm gonna teach myself how to swim.
So the fear proponent of this, as you said earlier, people may have had terrible experiences, almost drowning, or seeing someone go under, or just being afraid of the waves. So how do you deal with the fear piece of it?
I think really reminding them that their fear is real. We never want to downplay it. We never want to judge them, but also reminding them that the class is non-refundable, because sometimes there are moments where it's like they're like, okay, maybe this was a bit too much. I want a refund. It's like, no, you've made this commitment to yourself. Let's see it through. Just put your face in. Let's just sit in the water. And once they are in that moment, when they're in the water and they're encouraged by their classmates, they themselves start to see the great strides and progress that they're making. So really just talking to them about how did the fear start, equipping them with what to do, and then also helping them see it through.
Right. So some of your former students, do they come back and they say, what, we went to the beach, we had a fabulous time?
Always. They're telling me they went on vacation. They're telling me they're going on catamarans, on cruises. They're doing excursions that they were scared to do. A lot of times they're like, I can't do certain excursions because I'm fearful of the water. Now they're swimming at beaches and pools. They're swimming in oceans, knowing that I can now live life very freely without feeling fear.
How much time do you spend in the water then?
How much time?
How much time?
Too much time, Miss Carol. I think for me, because I love what I do, yes, but I haven't done my hair in a month. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Looking very svelte, very
Okay.
sleek,
She said I look good, y'all. Okay, but I think it's because I've had to neglect certain parts of myself, like my hair, because I'm constantly in the water, right? But I'm in the water for about 20 to 25 hours a week.
So other athletes who take swimming as a part of their training, how does that work? I noticed that there are some who every single day they have to get in the pool as well as doing whatever professional training they're doing.
Right. Like I said earlier, a lot of dry land exercises. So that's running, hitting the treadmill, lifting weights, deadlifting, squatting, doing a lot of core workouts, because swimming has to do a lot with your core. And then when you're swimming in the water for maybe 60 to 90 minutes at a time, sometimes you're doing 2-a-days where you're swimming at 5 a.m. and then 5 p.m. as well. So it is a lot, but then also a lot of the work also is in the kitchen. So you're eating healthy, a lot of protein, making sure you're getting a good night rest, making sure you're taking care of your mental and your body as well.
Right. So we've heard some of the negative things about black girls in our hair, but there's something about bones too. What is that about?
For me, when I started offering swim lessons, I had a young lady say, I can't swim because my bones are too dense. And I'm like, where did you get that from? And then in doing my research, this was a stereotype that has been shared in our community. Some may have heard of it, some may not. But I think that I would be remiss to not acknowledge that this was a stereotype that has been shared with me as an instructor, and how I want to make sure that we are spreading awareness that that is not true. Black bones and white bones, it's all the same. It's all the same here.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. So that's not the reason why I'm sinking to the bottom then.
No.
So.
I mean, of course, if you are working out, of course, muscle weighs more than fat. So it's going to be a lot harder for someone who is a bit more muscular to float on their backs. Some black people, not black people, excuse me, some people cannot float. Right? But that's not a determining factor of whether or not you cannot swim.
So we might not be able to float, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying people in general, not racially, but just some people, they're unable to float. But that does not mean you cannot swim. No.
All right. So talk to us about your Swim in Color program.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was going to be on there. Well, Swimming in Color is a nonprofit that we will be starting very soon. That is all that I can say about that right now. But I think that with Black People Will Swim, when I started it, you know, it was a passion project of mine. I turned it into an LLC, but I think that in creating Swimming in Color and doing our research, we realized that Black people are not the only marginalized group that is affected by this, right? And so with Swimming in Color is making sure that we're also creating a safe space for other nationalities and races and that are impacted by the drowning rates, as we had spoke about earlier.
Right, right. Wasn't there, I thought that there was a bill proposed that New York City school children had to take swimming. Was I imagining that?
No, not at all.
Oh, really? So
No.
fill us in on that. What?
Yes, so our governor, you know, she has been hard at work making sure that she is passing certain
This is
legislation.
Governor Hochul in New York, right?
Yes, and
Right.
she has been passing legislation and making sure that our kids, New York City kids, have access to swim lessons. So for children ages 9, they've been offering free swim lessons. They've also been putting their money where their mouth is by creating new facilities, New York City facilities with pools, reinvesting in pools, because a lot of times these pools have been either shut down or have been closed due to lack of funding and lack of maintenance. And now we are revitalizing a lot of the pools and making sure that they are funded, well taken care of, and making sure that people are in place to providing swim lessons.
And are you a part of all of that?
Well, I don't know, but Governor Hochul, please call me. Please. What camera am I looking at? I'm available.
Right,
okay?
we're recommending, yes,
You
we
heard it
have
here
we have a
first.
good candidate here to take part in that.
I'm just saying, you know, I think it makes sense. Our track record, I think it really speaks to what New York City is all about, right? We want to make sure that Black and brown kids are afforded the opportunity in learning how to swim. And while New York City has opened the gates for all children to learn how to swim, there are times where Black people are often shuffled to the back, right? We're not offered the same opportunities. And so we are here to simply level the playing field. So Governor and her cabinet, please call me. Okay.
So I hear that you not only swim, even though you're in the water a lot, you have other things that you do. Tell us about what, you know, occupies the rest of your life.
Yeah, my family, of course, but you know,
Which is?
my family, my parents, my sisters, my sisterhood, my friends, but really swimming has been taking over my life, which is a good thing,
Right.
because it gives myself a sense of purpose, right, new meaning. But outside of swimming, I'm going on vacation, I am taking care of myself, I'm spending time with my loved ones and significant other, and also just making sure that I am pouring back into myself, because sometimes being in entrepreneurship can be a lot.
Right, but aren't you a writer as well?
I did write. I definitely retired, I could say. I do write every now and then. If you know, an editor asks me to commission a piece, I will share my experience, whether it's what it's like to grow a business during the pandemic or what it's like to seek funding. But prior to starting Black People Will Swim, I did interview a lot of women entrepreneurs who are trailblazing a new path. People like Queen Latifah or Yvonne Orji from Insecure, Lala Anthony, so women who have been kind of creating their own path in Hollywood, and so written for cool publications like Forbes and Essence.
Right, right. And you've also gotten a grant from the NAACP.
I did.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It's been good. You are on it, Miss Carol.
Well, we're trying.
You are on it. But this grant, it came just in time. It was provided, like you said, by the NAACP, for Black Entrepreneurship Day, powered by Damon John, who is on Shark Tank, and it's been great. You know, they gave us $25,000 to support and fund our business, and then in addition to that, we also receive a one-on-one mentorship from the one and only Damon John. So it was great.
Right.
It was great. I mean, who else can say they've been mentored by the creator of FUBU?
And what did you learn from him?
With him, he taught me something about when launching a new program or launching something new, always drop Easter eggs. Don't just make a big announcement. Always drop Easter eggs. So, yes.
Now there's a technique. So I want to, as we're closing out, I want you to think about some of the people that you've taught, the kids or the adults, to swim and how it's changed their lives.
Yeah, as I said earlier, with a lot of our students, they're saying that they can vacation differently. They don't sit, no, they no longer sit on the sidelines. They're no longer fearful. With swim lessons, it provides a sense of safety, but also we equip them with a lot of water safety skills and techniques, in making sure that they are preventing things from happening, and in the event that something does happen, they know what to do, right? And so a lot of them are just being able to go on vacation and swim differently, live differently, and making sure that they're equipping themselves. A lot of our parents in our program, they learn how to swim because they want to make sure they know what to do if something was to happen to their child.
Right, right.
It gives them a greater sense of self.
Exactly. And you have a team, you have a big team that helps you out with this. Right?
Yeah, our team is great. We have it's 2 teams. So I have our administrative staff, who is our video editor, creative director, Satria. Okay, hey, Nico, I see y'all. Right, and then of course we have a great team of swim instructors who support the day-to-day activities. Right, making sure that people are in their classes, starting on time, making sure that they're providing a great experience. You'll be surprised. Think about your favorite teacher back in the day, or who was a teacher that left such a great impression on you. That's the type of memory and long-lasting effect that we have on our students, or that we want to have on our students, is making sure that, you know what, I had a great time from beginning to end, and that is the Black People Will Swim experience.
Now, from beginning to end, you take kids very young.
Yeah, 2 years old. We want to get younger. It really should be babies, because drowning is the leading cause of death for children under the age of 5.
Scary, scary, right?
Can you believe it?
Right.
Just in a bathtub. Situations like that can happen. Backyard pools.
So you want to lower the age
Yeah.
of your students.
Yeah. What's prevented us is the shortage of swim instructors, the shortage of lifeguards. So there are certain services that us as a Black-owned organization, we cannot offer because a lot of the candidates don't have the experience. And I may not have the bandwidth to teach because I'm already trying to accommodate the demand that we have right now. And so these are some of the hardships that we run into as a small business that is trying to tackle such a problem, a pandemic in our community.
So you're out at the facility in Long Island now?
Yes.
So give us the scoop. Where are you? Because I think people are going to be knocking on your door. We want to swim.
Yes. Okay, so right now we were currently hosting classes at York College. Right now they're currently under renovation, trying to spruce up the space.
Right.
So luckily we've taken our talents to Westbury High School. Thank you to the Westbury School District who took us in, and it's been great. The facility is great. The people there are great, and so this is a partnership that I'm also shooting my shot here too. This is a long-lasting. This is what it's all about.
Right.
Shooting my shot and making people know that we want to create more programming and making sure our lessons are accessible to those who need it most.
Right, right. Well, I thank you so much for the work that you're doing. I know that you've already saved so many lives, you know. I mean, people are vacationing, but they're also safe.
Right.
And that is terrific. Okay, well, I'm going to come and take a class, so I'm going to sign up.
Oh, Miss Carol.
My grandchildren swim. They're like
Okay.
water babies, but, you know, I haven't been in the water in a long time.
Okay.
So I'll bring my sister who, you know, who does a bit of water aerobics, you know. So.
And I'm going to bring you a swim cap. I'm going to bring you some towels. Black People Will Swim branded stuff, just so that we can give you the full experience. Oh, yeah, we got to get you ready.
So what kind, there's a great swim cap?
Oh, yeah. We have
What?
swim caps and towels and goggles, making
Yeah.
sure that you are equipped
Okay.
for the swim lessons.
And what about the tubes that go around too?
No, we don't need
No,
that.
no, we don't need.
No, we don't teach when we're teaching, we don't use equipment. Yeah, all you need is yourself. Or you need, you know, your cap, swim cap and goggles, but we're really an equipment-free type of lessons because when you're at the beach, at the pool, there's no equipment.
Right, right. I don't know. I love those tubes, but
Okay.
a question about we have friends who have children who have special needs, and will you accept those in your in your class as well?
Absolutely. That is something that we are working on and creating a curriculum. So we're talking to special ed instructors and teachers and teaching us some of the learnings in the classroom and how we can use those skills and techniques and use them in the pool, right? So some of our instructors are certified in those areas, is making sure that how we can support both demands. And it's a little tough with the shortage of lifeguards and swim instructors. So to circumvent that, to create a solution, we created a pipeline program so that way we are certifying people for free. We'll teach them, we'll teach teens who want to become lifeguards, we'll teach them how to become lifeguards for free and get them certified. So that is what we're doing to circumvent the shortage of lifeguards and swim instructors.
That is fantastic. And so how can people help you? I mean, in addition to signing up for classes, what's the word for our audience out there?
Well, at home, do I look at a camera or do I look at you? Because this is an important PSA, Miss Carol. Well, with us, they can go to blackpeoplewillswim.com. They can go to donate, right? Or they can write us a message, say like, hey, I know how to swim. I used to be a lifeguard. Maybe I want to freshen up my skills a little bit and volunteer. They can volunteer. They can work for us. We do pay because it's only right. But there are a plethora of opportunities where they can donate their time or donate their skills and services and work for us, right, with compensation. So if they want to support us, blackpeopleswim.com, go on our Instagram, you can donate, you can work with us, work for us.
You notice you mentioned the word donate several times in that. Or get, certified. Listen,
Right.
It's great. Well, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I'm looking forward to the water.
Okay, you guys heard it here first. Miss Carol will learn how to swim. She's bringing her girlfriends with her.
Right.
Okay,
Gonna have
girlfriend.
a swimming party.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Okay. I can tell I'm like that shiver.
Ooh.
My thanks to Paulana Lamonier, founder of Black People Will Swim. If you're someone who can't swim or you need to refresh your water safety skills, blackpeoplewillswim.com/donate will help you. Thank you for joining me today, Paulana.
Thank you for having me.
You're great. You're great. Thanks to you for joining us. I'm Carol Jenkins. The program is Black America, and we will see you the next time. And now you can download the CUNY TV app in your Apple Store or in Google Play and find us there.